SD card. For some reason, my camera was recording to the SD card in the camera, even though I specifically clicked for it to record to the USB, which is my SSD. It didn't, and so the clip just randomly stopped recording in the middle of the recording, which is great. So I'm just gonna restart because I didn't get far in. I didn't even start the questions. But this is the BookTube newbie tag. But I'm not doing the newbie questions because they're all really bad. So I'm doing the 20 questions BookTube tag. And that's super exciting, right? And I'm putting out this video because I'm only 2/3 of the way through Infinite Jest, and I still have to read another book after that to make it 3 books. So yeah, that's not going to be for like another 4 weeks. So this is going to be the video to tide that over, really. So let's just get into it. Let's just dive right in. Okay. Question 1. How many books is too many books in a book series? Thank you for specifying book series. I thought we were talking about movies. How many books is too many? Okay, well, let's approach this from both a reading and a writing perspective, right? Because I do both on this channel. I haven't done writing in a long time on the channel, but I'm still writing, right? Anyway, how many books is too many books in a series? Okay, well, it's writing. I am a one and done person. I realized this way too late, but I hate writing series. Like, I could split up one long book into multiple books and have that be a series, but I cannot go into writing something knowing that it is going to be a series. I can't do it. Because I just stop writing it. Anyway, reading. I also don't like reading series. I don't know what it is, but I could love a book, and the thought of having to read another one is just awful. But specifically this year, I'm trying to make myself read a minimum of 2 books in 2 different series to try to force myself to like series more, right? And I've got the first one lined up, so that should be really good. And the second one is potentially Twilight, which I've already done 1 of 2 books for. I could do a second book for that, but I don't know. So that's my thoughts on reading series. How many books is too many books in a series? 2. Okay, question 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? Are they at the end of the book or in the middle of the book? Like, if it's a cliffhanger for book 2, I don't know. Like, I probably don't even want to read the second book. So I don't like them. But if it's like the end of a chapter, which I guess I kind of just read one recently, like a character gets shot in Infinite Jest around 2/3 of the way through, and we don't know if he survives because he specifically says he doesn't want people to call an ambulance. So yeah, we haven't returned to him yet, and it's been like 20 pages or something. So I'm really hoping we get back to him, but we haven't. So I don't know. I guess it's fine. I don't really care, unless it's at the end and they want me to read the next book. Then I'm like, that just goes back to the series thing. Okay, number 3, hardcover or paperback? Paperback. I already have a hard time reading physical books. I haven't even heard a time reading hardcover books. books because I cannot, for the life of me, hold them open. I can't do it. When it's like a textbook and it's massive and like it just holds itself open flat, that's perfect. I don't want a paperback of that. I want a hardcover of that. If it is a book I am reading, I will not buy the hardcover, not even to sit on my bookshelf, because I never ever want to have to deal with it if I ever want to read a physical copy. I can't hold it open. I can't do that. Okay, favorite book. I don't know. Depends on what mood I'm in. It could be A Little Life. That could be the most inspiring book in terms of writing. My Year of Rest and Relaxation so far holds the candle for best comedy I've ever read, and probably best book of last year. But I don't know, I haven't read that many books. It's too early to pick a favorite. Least favorite book, The Bell Jar. We don't need to go into why, because I've already done that. Love triangles, yes or no? Okay, are we talking about love angles, in which one person likes two different people, but they don't have anything to do with each other? Or are we talking about potential threesomes, but they don't want to actually get into a threesome? They just kind of all like each other, but not in a polygamous way. Love angles, kind of stupid, but they're okay. I mean, they can be done well. They can be done well and they can be done stupidly. If it is like the entire point of the book and it becomes like this major plot point, but kind of just for the sake of it, like YA nonsense, or where it doesn't really make sense of why it would be a love angle because there's one clear option and it's always the person that they end up with, then they're stupid, but otherwise I don't care. And love triangles, actual love triangles, I mean, I've not really ever read anything with one in them, so I can't say anything about that. Okay, number 7. The most recent book you just couldn't finish. None. I have not in recent memory DNF'd a single book. Not even The Bell Jar. And I'm reading Infinite Jest. Not going to DNF that either. Not even close. Not even getting close to DNFing it. Even if it's going to take me another week, 4 weeks, 3 weeks of reading, which it will. Yeah, there's no answer to that question. A book you're currently reading, only one. I only read one at a time. Infinite Jest is right on this table here, but you can't see that, I don't think. Last book you recommended to someone. Definitely not Infinite Jest. I guess if you can call what I do on this channel a recommendation, any of the books that I've given high praise to. Like, I don't really recommend books to people that much. Number 10, oldest book you've read. I read more than 50% of The Great Gatsby, which is like 100 years old almost. I don't think I've read anything older. I read The Yellow Wallpaper. I don't think that came out before The Great Gatsby, but if it did, then that counts, because I finished that. But that was for grade 12, online school. Oldest book you've read. And the reason I didn't finish The Great Gatsby is because I just never got back to it. But I didn't DNF it. I just stopped reading it. You know what I mean? Like, I just haven't resumed, but that was like 2 years ago at this point. So, you know, I kind of have to do that. But I read more than 50%, so I'll count that. Newest book you've read by publication date. Which book is the most recent? I think like 2018 or 2019 is the most recent. 2018. That's weird. The most recent book I read came out 6 years ago, and it was my year of rest and relaxation. Every single book I've written has been newer than every single book I've ever read. That's pretty weird. Apparently I just don't read very many new books. Anyway, favorite author? I don't have one, but two in contention would be Hanya Yanagihara, who is so far 2 for 2, but she does have a third book, but I don't love the premise. Just reading the premise, I'm not in love with it. I could start it, but I don't really want to if I don't think I'm going to like it, but like I kind of feel like I have to. If she's 2 for 2 right now, then I kind of have to. Like, it came out 2 years ago? 2021 or 2022? And it's called To Paradise. And it's a story that takes place in like 3 different years. And one of them is in the future, but it's not like, it doesn't sound like what I want. And it's kind of like this whole utopia book. I really don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I feel like I kind of have to. But it's also long. Like, it's almost as long as A Little Life. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to read it eventually. And Otessa Moshfegh. I mean, she's really also 2 for 2 at this point, and she could be going 3 for 3. Because I'm going to be reading Lapvona, if that's how you say it. Just because, why not? I think it's her most recent book. So, why not read it? Buying books or borrowing books? This is question 13. I think it's pretty obvious. Buying books. I buy a physical copy of every book that I read, basically, even the ones I don't like, which gets annoying because I buy them before I read them, and then I end up with the bell jar, which I hide. I don't even keep it out. It's literally tucked away in my drawer because I don't want to look at it. I don't think I've taken a book out from a library in 5 years, maybe 4. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. The Bell Jar. Everyone online loves The Bell Jar. It's a classic. It's a feminist classic. It's a racist classic. Do not call her a feminist. That is so insulting. She is not a feminist. And neither is Sylvia Plath. She's a whore and dead and good for it. Yeah. What else? The Catcher in the Rye? I don't necessarily dislike The Catcher in the Rye, but lots of people think it's really good. I don't particularly, because I think it's horribly executed toward the end, obviously. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else. Normally, books that everyone likes, I know I won't like it, so I just never read it. Bookmarks or dog ears? If you dog ear your books, I have an assassin coming to get you. I'm the kind of person who does not mess with my books whatsoever. I will not touch them in any way. I will not write in them. I will not do anything with them. To me, my books are the kind of books that stay pristine for as long as possible. But I will shatter the spine so it is easy for me to hold open. I'll do that no matter what. Which is also another reason I don't like hardcovers. But that's it. Otherwise, it's a bookmark, and I don't even read the physical copies. I have the ebooks, so you can't dog ear an ebook. A book you can always reread. Well, I've never reread a book. Well, like, that counts for this. I've never reread one. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. In theory, a book I could always reread is A Little Life, which I'm going to be rereading soon. I could also reread My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I could reread a lot of books. I want to reread The People in the Trees, but I'm gonna give that like at least a year. Can you read while hearing music? I can, but I find I don't like it. I don't really enjoy it because I focus too much on the music, even if it's just instrumental. Obviously, I can't read with lyrics. But I find both reading and writing I don't really enjoy listening to music because it just becomes too much of a distraction. Yeah. One point of view or multiple points of view. Totally depends on the book. And that goes with my writing too. Normally, I say normally, but this wasn't always the case. But I am kind of a write from one point of view kind of person, but I feel like I'm very much branching out. But I have to know going into the book. I have to decide before I even start writing it which one it's going to be. Like I can't switch POV randomly if I didn't plan for that. So it's one or the other, obviously, but I have to decide before I start writing. And in terms of reading, it also completely depends on the book. Multiple POV can ruin a book really quickly, but it can also make a book perfect. It completely depends on the book. If it is a book that it has a very strong protagonist, it has to stay one POV. It has to stay from their perspective for me. But if it is an ensemble book, like Infinite Jest, which has 20 plus POVs at various points, I feel like, then it's perfect. Like, I enjoy that. And it gives us a break from certain things. So yeah, it completely depends on the book. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I've never read a book in one sitting. Ever. So, except for like short stories, obviously. So there's your answer. The last question is, who do you tag? I'm not answering that. Okay, so that was it. That was 20 questions, book tag. Woohoo! Woo! Yay! Maybe that was super exciting for you. Maybe it wasn't. Okay. Encore. Ooh, we're doing an encore. I'm gonna do the questions from the actual BookTube newbie tag that I like and want to answer. Okay. Why do you love reading? I don't know. I don't really love reading. I kind of just have to read now because I've forced myself to, and obviously now I have to stick with it. I can't just be a loser and give up. What book or series got you into reading? Well, in terms of getting me into reading, as in getting back into reading, to be consistent, technically there are two answers. It was either A Little Life, but I took a massive break before continuing after I finished that book. So maybe you can count that, or maybe you can't. But like, it was always the intention to continue after reading A Little Life. I just took a massive, like, 6-month break in between. Or it was my year of rest and relaxation, because that was the first book I read that I actually continued reading daily from that point on. So, one of those two, I guess, if we want to look at it from that perspective. When did you start reading? When I was a child. When I was very young. When I was in kindergarten. Or before that, probably. That's a really stupid question. Where do you read? Right here. You're looking at her. This position. Looking at my iPad. This is where I read. You're literally seeing exactly how I read right now. What kind of books do you like to read? Literary fiction. Literary fiction. Comedy. Mostly dark comedy. Tragedies. All falling under the umbrella of literary fiction at this point. Like, Infinite Jest is a dark comedy, but it's literary fiction. It's encyclopedic literary fiction. Okay? A Little Life, literary fiction. My Year of Rest and Relaxation, dark comedy, literary fiction. Basically. Like, it's not really a genre book. Nothing happens in the whole book. The People in the Trees, light sci-fi historical litfic. It, horror, not really literary fiction. It's really a genre book. All of the spines are faced away from me, so I can't even tell what I've read. Lord of the Flies, litfic. Like, what genre would that book be? But everything that happens is all in their head. It's all them. It's literary fiction, right? It's like dystopian literary fiction. The Catcher in the Rye, totally litfic. Like, should I go on? Like, I think there's a clear trend here. Anyway, I'm done. As I said, next video will be coming out soon. I'm on page 630, right? Yeah. 630 of Infinite Jest, of my ebook, which means I am 65.625% of the way through. Which is why I still have 3 more weeks of reading. And that, in words, is how many words? Let's see. 378,000 words. Yeah. This has been Classically Abby, your favorite YouTube channel, and goodbye.